and discovered that where I am is 45 minutes from my birth family. My twin brother and I, we were conceived in Gainesville, Georgia, but our mother went down to Miami and gave birth to us in Liberty City, the largest hospital, Jackson Memorial Hospital. They didn't receive black people at that time, so they drove around and found an abandoned building and gave birth to us on a floor in an abandoned building and then put us in foster care. So since I've been here, I met a niece, two brothers I didn't know I had. And a niece said that the first time when I spoke outside of Florida, I spoke in Atlanta at a church called Hillside Spiritual Center. And my birth mother took my niece to see me. She knew me, but I didn't know her. And my niece said she always wondered why she kept saying, "That's my boy." And she said for a moment she thought, because she said it so frequently during my presentation, that she was agreeing with me. And she never heard anybody speak that she agreed with as much as she did with me. And she says, "Now I know." She was saying, "That's my boy. He belongs to me." In this thing called. And so my mother, my twin brother and I, he's a Vietnam veteran, sky soldier, jumped out of airplanes 174 times. I'm his full-time caregiver now, but he said, "Leslie, are you aware?" And I said, "What?" And someone had communicated to us that our mother was a motivational speaker, and our grandmother, they have the Beulah Rucker Museum, she spoke with Eleanor Roosevelt. She was a motivational speaker too.
Wow.
This thing called life, there's some things that's a part of who we are, and we're not even aware of it.
Yeah. Well, it is great to have you here. We're going to wait another 30 seconds or so. I'm going to turn the meeting over to you and welcome everybody. It's great to have all of you here for our morning sales boost call. And we switched formats recently, and I shared with all of you that I was going to be bringing on some special guest speakers so you can hear from other voices. And our very first speaker, we're bringing out the best motivational speaker in the world, Les Brown. So I'm thrilled to have Les here to share with all of you. Les has been a friend of mine for many years and been a great supporter of mine and has encouraged me and has opened up many doors for me, Les, and I'm grateful for you and for your friendship. And I'm grateful for you saying yes today. And with that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you to share anything you feel inspired to share with the audience today.
Thank you so much, Eric. There's a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But I believe it's who you know and what they know about you. And when Eric calls, I answer. When he say jump, I ask how high. Okay. We're very good friends, but he's been my mentor. And I want to share this with you. I want you to think about your goals and dreams. And here's what I know. You're being a part of this class, that you're part of the elite. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it. That we're living in a time, as Peter Drucker said, that we must unlearn, learn, and relearn. That we have to have a commitment to continuous learning. And I'm still growing and I'm still learning. I believe you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. So even at 80, I have Eric's book and I'm always watching him and observing him. I think he's the most effective sales trainer on the planet because he teaches people how to sell themselves. People buy into you before they buy from you. And so I want to talk about very briefly something that you're aware of. And I want you to write this down. I am AI proof. I am artificial intelligence proof. A lot of people are intimidated by artificial intelligence. And I came along during the time of Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye, and they had a song called "Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby." You are the real thing. And what Eric teach and what you are absorbing and learning and being able to take to the next level is the skill, the superpower on how to tell your story so that people are able to relate to you. They can relate to artificial intelligence so that they can identify with you. They can identify with artificial intelligence, and so that they will be able to connect with you. And once again, they can't connect with you. That there's an energy signature that you have. And as we look at ourselves and this era of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition, your ability to present your ideas, your products, your coaching, your speaking, and not doing it in a way that sells you. What I love about Eric's approach to selling, I want you to write this down: self persuaded. When you speak, and I train speakers at this stage of my life, I've been doing this for 53 years. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 80-ish, oh my God, I served at the Lord's Supper, but I got some good tips, okay? That that when you are presenting, you distract, dispute, and inspire. How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. And so, in the limited time that I have, I want you to just write this down: distract, dispute, and inspire. That when you are presenting, what you're doing is interrupting their current story, that narrative, the noise from the world. How many of you know we're in a very noisy, distractive world? I've never seen anything like this. Seems like every time I wake up, there's something else. Raise your hand if you know what my brother talking about. Up in here, up in here. This is a very distracting world. So your ability to present in a way that you're able to distract people from the conversation that's going on in their head, their self explanatory style, distract them from listening to the noise of the world. And through your presentation, you dismantle their current skepticism, lack of trust, and able to dismantle their current belief system so that they become self persuaded to buy into you, your products, your consulting, your skills, or whatever you're offering. And part of that process, you got to continue to work on you. When I think about my life, born in an abandoned building on the floor with my twin brother Wesley, who's a Vietnam veteran, he's my hero. We are doing life together, and my being labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the fifth grade into the fourth grade, failing again in the eighth grade at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami. I had a moment that was something that was defining. And all of us have moments in our lives. There's a movie called Touch with Denzel Washington. He said there are moments as before this and there's after this, and after this, nothing is ever the same again. And I remember being in a class looking for a friend, and Mr. Leroy Washington, and he had a similar personality like Eric, said, "Young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me." I said, "Sir, I can't do that." "Why not?" "I'm not one of your students." "Go to the board and do what I'm asking you to do anyhow." And the other students started laughing, saying, "He's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT." He asked, "What's DT?" "He's the dumb twin." And as you can imagine, they erupted in laughter. And he looked at me, and I agreed with him. And he came from behind his desk. He said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Do you hear me?" "Yes, sir." My mama said sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. As you know, words can hurt and very deeply. But what he did, he disrupted my current thinking on how I saw myself. That when you're presenting to people, they have a mindset, a story that they bought into from life, and that your style of presenting, what you're able to do is disrupt their current story in their head. What you're able to do with the techniques and strategies that you're going to learn from Eric on how to begin, and I want you to write this down, speak to the heart so that they don't believe what you say, but they know in their heart of hearts that you're the one for them because of your genuineness, because of your authenticity, because of your character, and because of, and this is major, write this down, you're creating a relationship. Relationships matter. And people don't want to be treated like a transaction. They can smell commission breath. So when they can sense that you care about them, when they are able to, through your presentation and how you approach them and being present with them and listening to them. One of the things I train speakers at this stage of my life, and I was saying to a young man who I was vetting him to see whether or not he would be a good fit. And he started telling me his story. I said, wait a minute, let me share something with you. People don't care anything about your story, especially if it's real bad. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you. And what I realized that the speaking industry has been governed by the Dale Carnegie course, which is a great course. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And so I said, young man, are you coachable? And he said, I think I am. I said, this is not going to be a good fit because that's a yes, a no answer. And so let me just leave this with you. And this is the end of our conversation. Never let what you want to say get in the way of what your customer wants to hear. And all that getting, get understanding. It's been so nice talking to you. Bye for now. Bye bye. And part of what I've learned is that, okay, my time's up, Eric. All right, I see you.
No, your time's not up. I thought you were, when you said bye for now, I thought you were cueing
I
me.
told the guy bye. I was
Gotcha. You
talking to
got
him.
five
I
more minutes,
wasn't
my
talking to
friend.
you. Okay, but look, I don't mind ending now. It's okay. It's okay because I teach the best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest. So I'm open to answer any questions that anyone might have.
I have one thing I'd like you to speak to because I remember a time you called me. I was in California and it was about 9 o'clock at night. And sometimes you'll call me and you might need some support on something, or you just something you're wanting to share. And so you have homes in California and in Florida, and right now you're in Georgia, and so it was 9 o'clock at night, and I said, oh, you're in California. And you said, no, I'm in Florida. Well, it was midnight and you were still, going after your dreams on your phone. And this is just a couple of years ago. And what I got in that moment was you really live, you've got to be hungry. And could you just speak to that statement for just a moment about the importance of hunger?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. I was talking to my grandchildren, and they asked me the question about being hungry. What do you mean by that? They call me Papa. I said, people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Now, I want all of you to write this down as you move forward in life. Live your life the way you want to leave your life. If I knew that this is going to be the last day on the planet for me, and we all have an expiration date, there are a lot of things that I would write off, but this would not be one of them because this feeds my spirit and my soul. I get to serve my friend. I get to spend some time with him. And I I see the work that Eric has been doing for years and the work that I do and some of you that we're living in a time there's no such thing as job security. People are asking, who am I? And I'm encouraging you to find something that's your calling. A job is what you get paid for. a calling is something that you love so much that you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. That when you're involved in sales, you got to care about people. Maya Angelou said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Zig Ziglar said, if you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. And I believe that this place where we are, that you're carrying energy, you're selling from your heart and speaking to the heart, and driven by meaning and purpose. That's what hunger means to me. Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning, and he talked about the fact that you have to have something that gives your life meaning and purpose and drive to deal with the disruptions of life. I'm hungry to speak because someone spoke into my life and introduced me to this person that you now see. That when we speak to people or coaching people or selling people, we have the ability through the techniques and strategies that we learned from Eric, how to take people to a place in themselves that they can't go by themselves and make a decision that allows them to go to that next level. And and when you are hungry about what you do, your goal is not to be one of the people in the industry. My goal, and I'm sure your goal, is to dominate, to take no prisoners, and eat the wounded. Yum, 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 yum. Let me tell you, even at 80, don't underestimate me. I still got the fire in my belly. Take no prisoners and eat the wounded. The hungry dog gets the bone. When you're hungry, you're relentless. When you're hungry, you're unstoppable. When you are hungry, you realize a setback is a setup for a comeback. I've got a saying, when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you could look up, you could get up. When you're hungry, your hunger will get you back up again. Did I answer your question, my brother?
You did, Les, and I so appreciate you spending a few minutes with my audience today for our morning sales boost. I want to encourage all of you to go out and produce today, whatever producing is for you. Take today through the finish line. Take Les's words to heart today. That's going to wrap up our call. You guys have an amazing day. We're going to do it again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you all for joining. We'll talk to you later.
Bye for now. Bye bye.
Bye bye.